Morning. How are we all doing? Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me all right? How's it going? Yeah, wedding this weekend, so I'm in a little pod, which me and the wife are in at the moment. Oh, lovely, loud and clear, jolly good. Um, yeah, so I'm at a wedding this weekend. My wife's a bridesmaid, so I've got some time away from the kids, and able to go live for the first time. Private label has technically it has started. So I've got three samples coming over from China at the moment. Um, they should be here next week. Yeah, next week. The cost of the samples is just ridiculous. It's so for one of these products, I'm buying one of them for £1.30, but shipping is like 35 to 40 quid on top. So it's absolutely unreal. I haven't started yet. Private label. I'm in the process of starting it, so I've got some samples coming over. As I said, they should be here next week. So I'm in the process at the moment of doing some due diligence around freight forwarding, plus some photographers on Fiverr, and obviously graphic designers as well. I should be okay to do the copy myself, as that's my day job. What did you say? Private label is the future of your business, mate. Yes and no. I think if you successfully do private label, you can just do private label very easily. For me, wholesale is, I'm not going to say it's easy, but it's my bread and butter. So it's pretty straightforward for me to do private label. And I'll be roping the wife in and training her how to do wholesale. Sorry, not private label, wholesale. So I'll be roping the wife in to do all my wholesale stuff whilst I'm doing private label. So I'm in the process of training her up on how to do wholesale. So once I've sort of got the whole, I mean, wholesale's up and running as it is. It's going well. It's ticking over. The 9 to 5's still there, so I'm not going to leave the 9 to 5 until I'm well and truly established with private label. But ideally, yeah, private label would be the end goal. Until I come out, I already own a business, but want to do something new. Yeah, I mean, I'll just dive in and start with Amazon FBA. It's it's to me it's a very low cost barrier to entry. It's pretty easy to learn. You can learn so much on TikTok nowadays. I learned all on YouTube, and I also did the Helium 10 Freedom Ticket. So initially, I was going to do private label on when I first started, but I had some samples sent over, but I wasn't really 100% sure what I was doing. So then I started doing FBA books. So that was that. What do I do in my 9 to 5? So 9 to 5, I actually work for one of the world's largest agencies who manage Amazon brands. So I manage the European side, and I look after the biggest vendors on Amazon. I won't name names, but think of the biggest brands that sell on Amazon, and I manage those. What are the best YouTubers to watch? Cookie Dog. If I'm honest, I can't actually remember off the top of my head. I watched a lot of YouTubers probably 2 years ago. I honestly couldn't tell you off the top of my head at the moment. But TikTok's definitely a really great place to learn. There's a lot of influencers out there on TikTok who will just spat utter rubbish, if I'm honest. And will tell you, oh yeah, you can make 3K, 5K in a week, no problem. But that's not the reality at the end of the day. But honestly, TikTok, if you could do the Helium 10 Freedom Ticket, honestly, I learned so much doing that as well. That'd be another good place to start. Did you mention, do you do private label now? Yeah, I'm starting out my private label journey at the moment. It's just begun, so I've just got the samples coming over. hopefully next week. And then, yeah, if the samples are of a good quality, I need to obviously test them and stuff, then can start to then do the other bits around the private label and building the brand, getting the trademark, and freight forwarding and graphic design, photos, etc., etc. Do you recommend making a website for getting those wholesale accounts? Yes, I'd probably say that's probably a good idea. I technically don't have one. I think it would definitely help. I know it's very easy to make one on sort of Wix and Shopify quite easily. But at the moment, one of my main products on wholesale, I've got a brand deal with the brand. So myself and one other 3P seller are the only people allowed to sell it. So I've got that locked up from that perspective. So my other products, I just do and find them myself, to be honest. So it's not too bad. But I would definitely recommend if you can get a website set up, it would definitely be a good thing. Only thing with TikTok is that they aren't all genuine. 100%. 100%. There's a lot of people out there who will not be genuine. They'll show you, oh, look, here we go. Look, I did 100 grand this month or whatever. And they're not actually living the wholesale or FBA journey. And they're just there to sell a course or sell all the rubbish, other stuff that they're doing. I'm, on the other hand, I try and be as open and honest and genuine as I can and tell you that what it is and what you need to do and what you don't do. I've got a 9 to 5. It's wholesale's going pretty successfully, but there's no way I'm leaving my 9 to 5. I'd have to do what I'm doing every day at the moment for probably 2 years until I even contemplate leaving my 9 to 5. But yeah, I would agree with that. Jimmy, would you recommend doing wholesale before private label to learn the process? 100%. 100%. That's my view. Personally, I started with doing secondhand books. Really, really easy. Low barrier to entry. Go pick up books, scan books in your local charity shop. You can pick them up for free on Facebook Marketplace, eBay, Gumtree. Towards the end of my sort of book journey, I was buying textbooks off eBay for about £10 to £15, and then reselling them on Amazon for anything up to like nearly 100. I'll never forget the best book that I've got. I drove across my town where I live. Took me 20 minutes to get there. Picked up this book for £3 and then sold it for £89.99. It's just absolutely absurd profits. But it's a lot of work doing books to start with. But definitely start with wholesale before private label. I would definitely agree. Amazon FBA Wholesale UK. I have 200 units on the way to me now. The $1 Million Case Study by Jungle Scout. Jungle Scout is very good. I presume that's probably similar to the Freedom Ticket on Helium 10. But yeah, 200 units. Hopefully that's not just a test. That's one of your a product that you've already tested. I wouldn't be testing with 200 units unless it's pretty cheap. But yeah, good stuff. Great way to start. What else we got? When having a website, I was told you can have products on there that have zero inventory, which is fine. Yep. That's you can definitely have that. So essentially, you can set up a website whereby you've got all your products that in theory, that you sell on Amazon, but you can't actually sell them, which is absolutely fine, to be honest. If a wholesaler is really going to go down that route, you probably need to look at it in a bit more detail. But yeah, definitely you can do that, no problem. Oh, a lot of talking first live. So who does what on here? Who does private label? Who does wholesale? Any other questions? Not gonna lie, I use Jungle Scout, Buybot Pro, Keeper. They all give me different numbers of sales. I don't know which one. So what you need to remember is these softwares, pieces of software, are all using algorithms connected into the Amazon API. So they are never going to be 100% accurate. They're going to give you a very good idea, but your best bet is, so if you find a listing or ASIN which is selling 100 units a month, should we say, I like to focus on low number of sales units, that is. The only way to do it is then to test it. So if it's, I don't know, FC UK, wash bags, for example, buy a low number of them and send it in. If it's selling 100 a month, then it's going to be selling roughly 3 a day. If you buy 10 and it sells out in 3 to 4 days, it's probably fairly accurate. But that's the only way, and that's the only way to tell. And if anyone tells you otherwise, they're lying, because all of these pieces of software, and at my job, we've got the most sophisticated Amazon APIs, Amazon API connections. We are the biggest agency in the world, and we have one of the top relationships with Amazon, and we aren't getting it right. So the only way to do it is to test those products that you want to get involved with. What software do I use for FBA wholesale? So I use Helium 10. So Helium 10 has got a whole suite of tools within it. At the moment, I use their a la carte section, and I use X-Ray and Blackbox. So Blackbox to interrogate the Amazon backend and search for the opportunities, and then X-Ray will tell you the numbers that it's doing, and then I'll also use Keeper as well, to obviously check the buy box and stuff like that. That's it from in terms of looking for the products. And then I've got my accountant. They use Zero, and then I've got A2X as well, which is an importing tool which imports the data from Seller Central into Zero. And then I think I've got another one, but I can't remember the accountant uses. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it software-wise. And then I have a basic spreadsheet which I track my products and stuff that I buy on a regular basis, etc. No BuyBot Pro or SellerAmp. I've got a friend on my Discord who absolutely raves about SellerAmp. To be honest, I've never tried either BuyBot Pro or SellerAmp. I would probably go down the SellerAmp route because he's more successful than me on wholesale, and he raves about it. So I'd probably go down the SellerAmp. But from a profits perspective, Helium 10 will do that for you to a certain degree. But at the end of the day, none of these pieces of software are going to give you definitive answers on profit. You have to do the testing, and then once you've sold a unit, then go into your transaction view in Seller Central, and then see the fees that they've actually taken off, and then you can work out your profits off the back of that. Jimmy, I've seen people saying not tell wholesalers you sell on Amazon as they won't sell to you. Yes, 100% agree with that. Actually, no. Sorry, I do not agree with that. I would be completely open and honest with them, and tell them a slight white lie and say that you're an online retailer. But at the end of the day, my view is if you tell them that you don't sell on Amazon and then they find out you're selling on Amazon, they're just going to boot you out the door, and you're not going to have a relationship with them. But my view would be is if you're looking to open up wholesale accounts, if you're having difficulty getting wholesale accounts, then you need to probably start to look to build a relationship with them. And if they then find out later down the line that you're selling on Amazon, they don't want you to be selling on Amazon, it's goodbye to that wholesale account. What I would do is just try and get any sort of relationship with them, and get one product going with them, and just you need to show value to them, because at the end of the day, they want to sell to other businesses, and the more that they can sell to you, the better. So just try and build a relationship with them. But I would probably say you do online retail as opposed to sell on Amazon. Other wholesalers, and I've had wholesalers ask if I do sell on Amazon, and I'll just tell them flat out, yes, I do. And if they say no, there's not a lot I can do there. But there's so many wholesalers out there that you can find. Cookie Dog, I've still been able to join your Discord. Can't click the link. All right, I'll sort that out after the live. It's probably the setting on the Discord link that I've done. So it's not my Discord, by the way. It was set up. It was in the middle of lockdown. It's called the Side Hustle Network. And there's an FBA chat on there. It's pretty active. FBA, I tried SellerAmp for a month. Honestly, SellerAmp in the US is a gem. I live in London. Watch Flip for Mile. Yeah, I've never tried SellerAmp. I probably would if I didn't know about Helium 10, but I'm pretty comfortable with Helium 10 now and how I use the filters and criteria and stuff to find the products and stuff. So I'm just going to stick with Helium 10. and for private label, helium-10 is the absolute no-brainer, and don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. It's the best tool for private label by miles. The gems in the US is 10 times better in the UK in online arbitrage. Yes, yeah, I see some guys doing online arbitrage and retail arbitrage in the US, and their numbers are insane, absolutely insane. So, I mean, I see what our clients are doing in the US compared to EU, and their sales numbers are just on another level, another level. So the US is just way bigger, way bigger. Oh, a lot of talking. Any other questions Amazon related? What you're doing this weekend? Can you sell on US Amazon if the UK? Yep, no problem. I don't as of yet. Sourcing, yeah, I'll touch on sourcing in a minute. Yeah, you can sell on any other market, even if you're in the UK. Obviously, you have to sort out the tax implications for that, and obviously getting your products over to the US, and the same with the EU market as well. Yeah, sourcing. So sourcing. So whether you're using Jungle Scout or the Helium-10, whatever bit of software you're using, you need to think outside the box. There's no point in going on there and going, right, I want to find a product which is doing 100,000 in revenue per month, because that's what everyone's going to be searching for. You need to find niches where there's not many people selling it, and you'll start to also recognize certain sellers. So there'll be certain sellers who sell just shed loads of volume. You're never going to be able to compete with them on price. They've probably got relationships with them already. But look for niches where there's not a huge amount of volume, but it's a fairly consistent trend. So personally, I look for products selling 100 to 200 units a month. That should we say there might be one FBA seller on it, or it's purely FBM, and then that gives you an opportunity to get. So let's just say you find a product doing 100 units a month and it made £3 per unit. Wonderful, and you can get all of that. So that's 300 quid a month. Find 10 of those products. That's £3,000 a month. There's your UK annual salary sorted. Done. That's how I look at it. One cookie dog. I wonder how returns would work. Honestly, I don't worry about returns. I don't even pay attention. I get refund and returns on a regular basis. From an email perspective, I just ignore them unless there's a serious problem with the product. You're going to get people who return products. It's just the name of the game. Generally, I'll never get them returned to me, because then I've got to deal with them. I'll just have I'll get them sent back to Amazon, and then if Amazon can then check them and then put them out for sale again, I'll let them do that. Otherwise, I'll get them to liquidate it or destroy it if it's broken or something. But returns, honestly, the percentage of most of my products is point something of a percent, so it's honestly not something I worry about. Jimmy, sold some gym equipment yesterday to start the business fund. 70% 70 quid in the kitty. Yeah, good start. And that's a great way to start, selling stuff around the house and then being able to then use that to utilize and source products with. Absolutely no brainer. Do you have a checklist for what makes a product good to go after? Yes and no. There isn't really a definitive right answer to this. It's what you're looking for. So personally, I want small and light items so I can join the small and light FBA program, so you save on fulfillment fees. That's a really big one for me, and I try to do that. It is quite difficult, but you can find those products. Generally, I want something which is making 13 to 15% margin as a minimum. But obviously, depending on the actual pound margin, so if something is 10% margin, but the margin is £5, and I can sell 30 of them a month, wonderful. But yeah, there isn't really something in terms of a checklist of what makes a good product, to be honest. It's what you think would work. But yeah, I look for ideally 100 units a month that it's selling, 13 to 15% profit minimum. I can get it from a UK-based supplier, wholesaler, distributor, etc. Um, uh, it's got ideally less than 3 or 4 other FBA sellers on it. That's just FBA. That's not Seller Fulfill Prime. I'm going to ignore Seller Fulfill Prime most of the time. Hazmat or not hazmat, I'm not fussed. I'm on that dangerous goods program, so I can sell hazmat. That would probably be it. As long as I can source it fairly cheaply as well, as long as I can get it for less than 20 quid a unit. Ideally, you want to try and find products from a selling price range that are being sold for what I would call, what's the word? It's a non-informed purchase. So for me, a non-informed purchase is something that you will buy and you won't even think about it. You'll just buy it because it's so cheap. For me, that's anything under sort of £30 to £40 generally. However, whereas if you're buying like these headphones, these are 20 quid, no brainer, done, nice and cheap, they do the job. But if you're buying, should we say, I don't know, a sports watch, which is a couple of hundred quid or even £100, anything over sort of 50, 60, I think. You've got to do some due diligence around that. You want to make sure it's the right sort of watch for you, and you're going to do some research on it, for example. Whereas if it's under sort of 30, 40, you just don't think about it. People will buy it, and that's generally what I try and go for. So if you can get a product at about £15, ideally, the sell price is £15. Where are we? Sorry. This is my first live. I didn't know Amazon Cookie Dog. I didn't know Amazon dealt with returns. I thought they sent back to you. No. So you can set that up. So in your Seller Central, you can set up what happens to returns. So you can set them up to be sent straight back to you, or Amazon can do what they call grade and resell. If it's a slightly damaged item, for example, let's say if it was, I don't know, a tin of beans, for example, and it had a dent in it, instead of being a quid, they might do a grade and resell. It's a grade A, and then sell it for 80p, for example. But I get all my returns sent to Amazon. The percent is so small, I don't even look at it. And then every Saturday night, because obviously your IPI score refreshes on a Sunday evening, on a Saturday night or Friday night, I'll check if I've got any stranded inventory from returns, and then I'll then deal with it so it doesn't affect your IPI score too much. And whether that be sent back to me, generally never. I'll generally just liquidate it if it's like stuff that can't be sold, if it's damaged too much. So you can do liquidations, or yeah, that's probably pretty much it. FBA, how do you join that group? I heard of it. What group are you talking about? Let me know. Do I spend a lot on Amazon promoting? Zero. Cookie Dog. I did dabble in advertising. So obviously at my day job, as part of my day job, we do a huge amount of PPC advertising, 7 figures on a regular yearly basis with most of our clients. So I know what I'm doing from a PPC perspective, but because it's wholesale, I don't need to. I did dabble in it on my main product, and I did it for a couple of weeks at a really low amount. So I was doing £5 to £10 a day to see if it made any difference in sales, just as a test, but it didn't. So I stopped. FBA, you VAT registered? Yep, VAT registered. Pally, wanted to ask how is the best software to use, Jungle Scout or Keeper? I presume it's Jungle Scout or Keeper. What package do you sign up to as? So I only use Helium 10 and Keeper. I presume it's JC is Jungle Scout, unless I'm missing something. I only use Helium 10 and Keeper. Keeper, you can do the free version or the paid version. I can't actually remember how much the paid version is a month, if I'm honest, off the top of my head. Helium 10 is about 40 quid a month, something like that, for black box and X-ray, which is all you need for wholesale. Yeah, probably. Yeah, something like that. But don't think about the software in terms of how much it costs. Just think about it as it's an investment to help you achieve your goals. If you're thinking of going 40 quid a month, oh, that's quite a lot. That's more than twice my gym membership, etc. You're never going to get anywhere. You need to change your mindset. let's just add up what I spend on software. So Helium 10, 40 quid a month, Zero, 40, 50 quid a month, something like that. Keeper, I can't even remember. I'm just going to say 20. Then A2X is another 20. So you're probably looking at 150 quid a month. But honestly, I don't even look at it as that. I look at it as all those tools help me to achieve my goals further down the line. And if you're worried about them costing you that much in the start, do the trial versions and try it out. But you got to think about it. If you start getting to the level which you want to get to, those costs are negligible at the end of the day. And I don't even think about them. You think about, like, yesterday I did 1,100 quid in sales yesterday. That's paid for the whole month's software subscriptions. Done. Easy. Hazmat Small and Light. Hazmat Small and Light, 100%. Hazmat and Small and Light. There's no cost to either of those. They're both free. Hazmat takes 4 days to join. It's called the Dangerous Goods Program. Just look for the Dangerous Goods Program in Seller Central and you can join there. Small and Light honestly takes two minutes to join. You just go into Explore programs or Manage programs in Seller Central, and then Small and Light program, and then you can see if your ASIN's eligible enough for it or not. Would you say the software is a must for research when starting? It makes it a lot easier, Jimmy. A lot easier. You can do manual sourcing. It just takes ages. Do you not need the second package on Helium 10? I thought the first one was not as good. So Cookie, what you need to do is, if you want, you can do the packages. That's absolutely fine. But I do the a la carte. So you need to go into the billing and subscription section, and a la carte is underneath all the platform, all the monthly programs. There's no harm in doing the monthly programs, but the starter isn't really worth it because you'll be doing more searches than you're allowed to have. And Platinum's what, $100 a month. In my bio, you can get 20% off for 6 months on that. And full disclosure, I get a little bit back for that as well. But I use the a la carte, and I'm going to try and get a discount link into my bio for a la carte. I'm working on that at the moment with Helium 10. Pally associations, don't change that. Helium 10, which one you pay for? I put 59 on Jungle Scout, and I think I pay for the private label. Helium 10 is just black box and X-ray. Have you only used Helium 10, or have you tried any of the software like Barra Pro? I've only used Helium 10. I've got to figure out how do messages work on this. Sorry, it's my first ever live, so I'm still learning. So I've only ever used Helium 10 and Keeper. I started off with Helium 10, and I did do quite a lot of research between the differences between Helium 10 and Jungle Scout when I first started, and I just decided to go with Helium 10 because I think it offered more, and definitely for private label, it's an absolute no-brainer. I didn't know there's an option. Glad I came across your page. I'm going to say, jolly good. All glad to hear it. I'm only here to be open and honest, etc. I've got a budget of £50 a month for software. Would you say Helium 10 is good enough on its own? Yes. Yeah. You can get I think at the moment, I'm trying to remember if I've got the free version, or I think I still pay for Keeper, but the free version will give you enough basic information, particularly in the data, for you to start off with. But Helium 10 will definitely do. It will be fine on its own plus Keeper. But as I said, Jimmy, all of these softwares are only as good as the information that's coming into them. So none of them are going to be 100% accurate. And your best bet is to find an opportunity and test it. It's the only way to do it. Is it the start one, $39 a month? No, FBA. Underneath there'll be an a la carte. If you can't find, just Google a la carte Helium 10, and then under there there'll be a list of 7 or 8 different pieces of software which you can choose. And then you can choose black box and X-ray, and combined they're like $40 a month, something like that. Keeper paid is definitely needed. It shows so much more data than the free version of Sales Drops by Box. Yeah, 100%. I couldn't agree more. Keeper paid version is hugely valuable. You can use the free version. it will do you okay, but the paid version is like invaluable. Yeah, Keeper's an amazing tool. We use it at work as well. So yes, that was well. Right, I've got to figure out how I got all these. How much is Keeper? I want to say 20. I want to say 20, maybe 30, something like that. Something like that. It keeps saying I've got messages. 19, there you go. Not far off. Just seeing. Oh, no, I don't want that. Sorry, I've never gone live before, so. Multi-guest. Oh, we got. Does anyone want to go live with me and do? Oh, there we go. I don't know your name, buddy, but I know you comment a lot on my stuff. What's an IP claim? I'm struggling to get my head around IP claim and get ungated. So, an IP claim is if you're going to sell a brand. Nike water bottles. I know you use that far too much. Let's say you're selling Nike water bottles, and Nike decide that you aren't allowed to sell it, and they'll basically send you a message via either straight to your email or via Seller Central, and they'll basically say, we don't want you to sell it, we don't believe that you're selling genuine product, etc., etc. And then you've then got to go through a process of essentially discussing with them and proving that you are selling genuine products. But some of the time you'll get away with it, some of the time you won't. I don't think I've ever had an IP claim, luckily, because I don't sell massive brand goods, or big brands, should we say. I try and look for obscure brands, if that makes sense. What was the other question on your IP? Yeah, with IP complaints, I see so many people on the listing. Yeah, and you'll get that, because what you got to remember is the big brands on Amazon, and I manage these on a daily basis at work. We get hundreds of 3P sellers trying to sell our products, which is fine, but if they can't prove that they're selling genuine products, we've got to get rid of them, and IP claims is the only way to do it. And we're actually, hang on, I've got a new, right, all right, okay, I'm with it now. We don't want, as a brand, we don't want 3P sellers selling our products they could be counterfeit, they could be genuine, but that's how, that's the view. That's what you got to think of it from a brand's perspective. They need to protect their brand and all of their IP, etc. Hi Chris, hi Mika, Micah, Mike, I think it's Micah. Yeah. For the sake of 120 quid a year, yeah, 100%. Couldn't agree more. Which other carts do you use? They're quite pricey separately. Yeah, they are very pricey separately. So I use Black Box and X-Ray. Those are the only two you need. Micah, how are you, Chris? All good, buddy. Do I play PlayStation 5? No. Don't have time to do a lot of gaming in my life. I do PC gaming if I do anything like that. If I get time, I limit myself to about half an hour, 45 minutes a day to do a bit of gaming, but I get downtime. But I've got a 9 to 5. What's 120 quid a year? Keeper. Yeah, Keeper. Yeah, Keeper. Keeper's 20 quid a month. So, no. Is it? Yeah, I can't even. I'm beyond tired. 12 quid at 12 times 20. Yeah, just don't think about how much the. Yeah, exactly. Don't stop. You need to change your mindset in terms of how much these things cost on a monthly basis, because these are going to enable you. Think about it. If let's say you're spending 100 quid on software a month, you find one product that sells 100 times a month and makes you 3 quid a unit. There's 3 months paid for. And that's how easy it is. I don't even think about how much I'm spending on software. And if I've got to get another piece of software for my accountant or whatever, and they say, it's another 30 quid a month, I just don't even think about it. It all goes on the balance sheet at the end of the day, but I'm not taking anything out as a salary at the moment. It's all just being reinvested back into the business, to buy more stock for more products, etc. Etc. You can always see if there's a chance of claims via Keeper, massive drops in sellers in a short. Yeah, 100%. What's my day job? Keelan. I work for one of the world's largest Amazon agencies. So we manage What do we manage? We manage 7 of the top 12 vendors on Amazon globally. I manage the European side of the brands. So I manage across, all of Europe. All of Europe. Back to sourcing now. I'll watch you later before Premier League. Good luck, buddy. Yeah, bit of football today, but I'm at a wedding, so I'm going to miss it all. Keepers price increased in the last few months or so. Yeah, I think it has. Yeah, with PL, do you need to do trademark? I would definitely recommend doing a trademark for sure. That way you protect yourself. And then the second thing I would do is, obviously, once you've got your trademark, then register it with brand registry, but then enter the brand into the brand transparency program, which will basically be a little square sticker, not sticker, like QR code, which also goes on your product. So you also have your barcode, your barcode, which you'll get a GS1 barcode for. Then you register that trademark as well, and then you have the transparency label, and then you're pretty much watertight, because only products which have got the transparency label or sticker on that are sent into the fulfillment center can be sold on that listing, and therefore, in my eyes, you're completely watertight. Is it possible to make Amazon a full-time income? 100%. 100%. Not straight away, and it's going to take you a long time to get there. But you think at the moment I'm doing £1,000 between about, let's call it £1,000 a day in sales. I'm making 13 to 17% margin on that. So call it 15%. So I'm making 150 quid a day. So what's that? £4,500 a month. If I did that every day. Top G. I'm going to say no at the moment, just whilst I answer these questions. But yeah, that's £4,500 a month. But I don't do that every day of the year. My main product's doing really well at the moment. So once I've done that for probably 2 years, then I'll look to probably leave the 9 to 5. What would you do if you were starting all over again and you didn't do it first time, Jimmy? What would I do? Test every single product. I made some. Can I start a YouTube? I'll answer that in a minute, Cookie Dog. Test every product, Jimmy. So I've made a couple of errors which have cost me a lot of money. My biggest one would be I bought a board game from a big wholesaler, and I was flying at the time. I was doing ridiculous numbers. This was mid to sort of August, September last year. And I found an opportunity for a board game. It was being sold by the brand, but there was other sellers on the listing. So I thought, okay, that's quite safe. I could buy the product for £10 and it was selling for 25. And I found a wholesaler who had exactly the same product, exactly the same barcode, everything. So I was like, okay, I'm pretty watertight on this. I'm pretty confident. I'm not going to test it. What I should have done is bought by 10. I bought 100 at a cost of £1,000, well, plus VAT, 1,250. And when the product arrived, it was not the product that was advertised on the website. It was a US version of the product. So I sent it in, didn't even look at it. Amazon then said, no, it's not the same product. And they sent it back. And then I had to get them all sent back to me, and I've still got them. And so I'm slowly trying to flog them on Facebook Marketplace for what I paid for them, 10 quid each. So yeah, test every product available. 100%. Cookie Dog, I'm not going to remember this. Can you start a YouTube? I suppose I could start a YouTube. I mean, if I get enough people asking me to start a YouTube, I'm more than happy to. I would be few. I could start a YouTube. I mean, technically, I do have a YouTube channel that I did that I've had for a few years. That I've got some gaming stuff on. I mean, if enough people want me to start one, I could definitely do it, and start putting some stuff on there for sure. But I'll put a TikTok out in the next few days, and I'll get sort of viewing people. If people want me to start a YouTube and put content on there, I'm more than happy to. Fair enough. I've been doing this for around 1.5 years now. So I employ my brother full time now. I hate the small comments. Yeah. Great stuff. Keelan, I'm going to presume it's Keelan. Apologies if I pronounced that incorrectly. I've been doing. I mean, I've been doing it, what, 2 years or so, just under 2 years. I'm by no means an expert at all. I I just do my best, and I'm just trying to be as open and honest on this account as I can. Hassan, I've set up. Hassan, right? You changed your name, so you're not a user anymore, right? So I know your name. I've set up a sole trader. Most wholesalers ask for a company name. Any tips? So I've got a lot of people on my Discord have got accounts as sole traders, and a lot of my wholesalers will accept sole traders. Um, I've got a limited company, and to be honest, and Jimmy, going back to your previous question, I probably wouldn't set up as a limited company straight away. But I was like, I'm going to be continuing this whatever and doing my best to make it successful. So I went limited company VAT registered straight away. I probably shouldn't have gone VAT registered straight away. If I'm honest, I probably should have just done limited company and then wait until I passed the 85k threshold. Cookie Dog. Yeah, what are the games? What is it? It's Color Brain by Big Potato Games. Really good game. Really good game. But if you want them, I can sell you them 10 quid each. Not a user anymore. No. Yes. Good job, Hassan. Yeah, I actually know your name now. What sort of email do you have? Do you have Gmail? So, Zungales. So initially I started with a Hotmail account and I shouldn't have done that. I do not recommend doing that at all. Get yourself a professional email. Go on to, what do I use? GoDaddy to get a professional email. It costs, again, it's miscellaneous costs. I don't even look at it. I think it was 60 quid I think I paid, and that does me for 2 years. And I get a professional email with access to Outlook and stuff. 100% I'll do that. I still make mistakes and I always want to help people. These TikTok gurus are awful. Yeah, there's a lot of awful TikTok gurus out there. There's a lot of people out there who, oh yeah, I can make 3k, 5k a week, no problem. Yeah, of course you can. Like, I can make that amount in sales, but what's your profit on that? And what's my best ever profit margin? 35%. I didn't sell many of them, but my best sellers are 11 to 17%, maybe 13, 17%, something like that. Yes, and girls, GoDaddy. So you basically choose what your email address is. So let's say if it was oh, I'm just trying to think. Whatever your company name is. So let's just say on as John Smith PLC. You could have Zungales at johnsmithplc.com, for example. So you choose what your URL and what your email is. Yeah, there's a load of different ones you can choose from on GoDaddy. And then you can also link that on GoDaddy to have your own website, as I think I've talked about before on this live. Keelan, link me your Discord, please. It's in my bio. Although apparently the link's not working, so I'll change that after this live. I'll do another 15 minutes, but then I've got to go and get ready for the wedding, because the wedding starts at 1:30 and I'm getting picked up at 12:30. Oh. So, Keelan, are you wholesale? I'm presuming, if you also have your brother roped in, because I don't think you'd have your brother roped in if you're doing private lay. Well, you might do, but I'm guessing you're wholesale. Any other questions, people? Oh wow, sorry, I've just only just realised 1.4k likes. Nice. That's a solid start. Yeah, if you like it, is it you double tap the screen to like it? I think. I'm useless. I'm not the demographic for TikTok, but it seems to be working and I'm helping. Chris, I'm going to start sourcing the weeks. If I get stuck, am I open to message? Yes, buddy, absolutely fine. Either DM me or just comment on one of my videos. I try and do a video response to every comment. Obviously, that's going to get harder the more people I have following me. But I try and do that. So I'm trying to do, well, however many comments there are, but generally it's 10 to 15 TikToks a day, something like that. Obviously, you guys can see how many I'm doing a day. I do less at the weekend because I've got 2 kids and a wife and a life, so I don't tend to have as much time during the weekends. But I try and do a few before work, some at lunchtime, and then some in the evening when I'm done with all my Amazon stuff. Cookie Dog, I think I've sent the majority of the likes. Yes, I've seen a lot of yours. Thank you, I really appreciate it. I really appreciate all the likes and stuff. It's most appreciated. Um, just looking to help because I think, as I've said, there's a lot of gurus on TikTok who are just doing a lot of BS, and I just want to be open and honest and show you the true side of what running an FBA business looks like, and that it can be done on a 9 to 5, and done mildly successfully. I mean, I'm doing all right. I'm not doing amazingly, but when I start doing amazingly, then I'll leave the 9 to 5. Then that's the goal. To leave the 9 to 5 has to be. Any other questions? Any comments? Well, Jimmy and Cookie Dog and Hassan, I most appreciate you've been here for most of the live, so very much appreciated indeed. Um, I don't think I'll be able to do daytime lives very often. I'm off now for work. I'll check back. See you later. If I can join this. Cool. No probs, Cookie Dog. Thank you for joining. Yeah, I probably won't be able to do lives on the weekend very often. If I do, it'll have to be the evenings, but it just so happens that I'm child free this weekend, and wife free for the morning. While because she's a bridesmaid at this wedding, so I've got some time on my hands. So I thought I'd treat myself to going live, seeing as I hit 1k likes, 1k followers overnight, which was really good, really good. It means I can put a link in the bio to my Discord and Helium 10 as well. Oh, Hassan, do you want to go live? Do you want to go live together? Yeah, Jimmy. I mean, that's a really good starting fund. Really good. But I suppose if you just think about it from a product perspective, if you're, let's just say you have 500 quid and you found products which you can buy for, I don't know, 5 quid each, you can probably buy 10 test product, 10 lots of each product, and you'll be flying then in terms of finding out what works and what doesn't. And that's what I used to do. Is when I first started, I would test as many products as I can get hold of. So I'd send generally whatever the minimum box quantity was. So if it was whatever it was, and if it was boxes 6 was minimum, I'd order 6. And if the supplier or wholesaler had a minimum order value, I would then try and find as many products on that wholesaler as I can to meet the minimum order value, and then test 5, 10 products, and then go from there. But test. But 800 to £1,000 is absolutely more than enough. Absolutely more than enough. Yeah, more than enough to start with. I mean, think about it. I started with books. Probably started with 50 quid. And then just scaled it from there. And I put occasional cash injections in when I needed to, but you can, huge amount to start with, 800 to £1,000. Hey, Kelly. Are you guys finding this useful, by the way? Are you finding my content that I'm on live and on my normal videos, are they all useful? Is there any particular content that you guys, or stuff you want me to answer via a TikTok, in terms of whether it be, I don't know, sourcing, how to use Helium 10, etc., etc. My ultimate goal is PR, but I need a hell of a lot more than 1k. Yeah, probably. But I mean, if you think about it, the product that I'm getting from Alibaba at the moment is £1.30 a unit. I'm going to sell it as a 2-pack, so £2.60. So I think the minimum order quantity is 500. So that's 1,250 quid. Then you've got to put on trademark, freight forwarding, graphic design, photos. So yeah, you're probably looking at probably about £2,000 all in for that one product. But my view is I've got enough capital coming in from wholesale. Let's just see what I can do with it. Can you show me your floor? It's not my floor. It's a floor. It's pretty boring. We're here to talk Amazon. Yeah, private label's got to be the goal at the end of the day, Jimmy. Definitely for me. I mean, the product that I'm hoping to be able to sell, there's only 4 sellers selling this type of product, and the top one is doing 120k in revenue a month, which I work to be on the margins that I think I can get is going to be about 30 to 40 grand a month profit. Then you can leave work. Then I can leave the 9 to 5 if I can do that for a year. But I mean, if you're doing 30 grand a month for a year, you probably nearly pay the mortgage off as well. Then you're doing well, and then you can start doing other brands, other products, other private label endeavors. Any tips for good relationship building with wholesalers? Speak to them. Go and see them if you can. If you can go and see them, even better. But speak to them on the phone, and just build up a relationship with them. So my main product, I basically have a brand deal with them. I go and meet with them 2-3 times a year in person. But I just provided, a lot of value to them and giving them information about what's going on Amazon, and that's what got me the brand deal. I'm now, me and one other seller, we're the only people who can sell that product. But honestly, it's all about relationship building. Build a relationship with them. One of my other suppliers, I've got his WhatsApp. I literally just WhatsApp him now. I don't even email him. I just send him a WhatsApp and say, right, can you send me 10 of this, for example? And I've built a really good relationship with him. That wholesaler also sells on Amazon, and I've built such a good relationship that we agreed to share the buy box on certain listings where we're both selling if we happen to be the only sellers. So it's just all about having a good relationship with them. So some wholesalers they don't sell on Amazon because they just can't be bothered with it. Others do. So one of my main wholesalers who sell a variety of products in one particular category, they sell on Amazon, and I occasionally go on a listing with them as well. But my main product, they don't want the hassle of selling on Amazon. They just want to sell directly to someone. So that someone is now me and one other 3P seller. And we deal with everything on and off Amazon for this particular product, which is really, really good. And they don't want the hassle. Pretty frankly, they just don't want the hassle of selling on Amazon because it is a lot of work. And you think about it, if my main product from them, I order 1,500 units at a time on a pallet, and you think if they've got to then do that and send that into Amazon, you've got to either get a prep center to do all the labeling for you or do it all yourself. It takes me 5 hours to label up the whole pallet, but the whole pallet makes me 2.5 grand profit. But they're far happier just sending it directly to me, and then not having to worry about Amazon. Right, I think another 5 more minutes, then I probably need to go and get ready for this wedding. So, any last questions? Fire them away. Does that help, Jimmy and Sangalas, in terms of the wholesale questions? If you tell a wholesaler you're an online retailer, do they want to see the platform you're selling on? Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes they ask for either my Amazon storefront or my Amazon store name, and that's I see that quite a lot. But my view is just be open and honest with them. If you're going to build a long-term relationship with them and be working with them for a long time, be honest, open and honest with them. Otherwise, you're gonna come into problems. But for example, I'm just trying to think of the 2 wholesalers I've recently opened up with. So I didn't tell either of them I sold on Amazon, but I told them I do online retail, but they didn't ask for my store name or anything like that, and I got away with it. But I think neither of them really mind if people sell on Amazon, to be honest. Zangalis, how many IP complaints can you survive? I mean, you could get done by one. I haven't seen anyone get their account closed from one IP complaint. I don't think. But Zangalis, if I'm honest, I've never had, and I apologise if I've said your name incorrectly. Um, I've never had an IP complaint, so I honestly can't comment on that specifically. Um, but if you're getting IP complaints from a specific brand, just stay away from it. There's so many opportunities out there on Amazon. You think about it from a product perspective. When I was looking a couple of years ago, there was 700 million products on Amazon globally. I mean, there's enough products out there and brands out there for everyone. And go and look at the statistics on how many Amazon seller accounts are being created every week and how many new products, not existing products, new products are coming to Amazon. Like if I think about the brands that I work with in my day job, like one of my big brands, they're adding 500 new ASINs twice a year, and that's one brand. So there's absolutely loads. There's absolutely loads of opportunity out there. Thank you for the follow, Pally. Hi, Tina. Right, a few more minutes, then I need to shoot. We'll go till past. We'll give it 4 more minutes. But it's been a good live. I've enjoyed it. Lots of questions. You are a legend. Thank you. Thank you. How long it took to? I'm not full time Amazon. Zangalos, I'm not full time Amazon. So I have a day job, 9 to 5, where I manage brands on Amazon for a very large Amazon agency. And then I have an Amazon FBA wholesale business and trying to dabble into private label as well, which I do in the evenings once I've finished my 9 to 5. But the end goal is to do Amazon full time, or should we say e-commerce full time, because I don't think Amazon's ever going to go anywhere, but the fees on Amazon are extortionate. I mean, one of my products, I've got the fees are 40%, I think 41%. It's just absolutely astronomical. Does your job know how to sell on Amazon? Yes, yeah. So my day job, I manage the largest vendors on Amazon. So to recap, one, test, contact wholesaler if product sells well. Yes, pray they sell to me. Yeah. Yeah, test, definitely. Contact the wholesaler, call them if you can. Try not to fill in the little email or contact form. If they haven't got a phone number, send that form off. Then when they respond, they should give you a phone number. Then call them, try and build a relationship with them, and then pray they sell to me. Yeah, and to be honest, they should do. If you can get an account open, I don't see any reason why a wholesaler wouldn't sell to you. Hello, FBA TV. The new man to FBA talk, as it would be. You've joined right at the end of my live. I've only got a couple of minutes because I need to go and shoot to get ready for a wedding. But thank you for joining the live. But yeah, Jimmy. Once you get an account with a wholesaler, they should sell to you, no problem. And then just test. And I think so. My latest wholesale, I think the minimum order value is 150. So I found 2 products from them. I've done 160 quid's worth of product. I bought like 40 of one and 20 of another. They should be arriving next week. And yeah, just test it from there. FBA TV, how you finding TikTok so far in your short time on TikTok? 1.7k likes. Just worried when I say the word Amazon, they'll refuse, and they might at the end of the day. And try online retail, or online e-tailer. And if they don't, there's so many wholesalers out there. Honestly, Jimmy, there's so many. And if you think about the big brands, they'll have distributors, and those distributors might have more distributors on top of that. And there's so many wholesalers out there, Jimmy. I wouldn't. I mean, I've been turned down by probably 70 to 80% of the wholesalers that I've contacted. Exactly, there you go. If they say no, just move on. Numbers game. Exactly, exactly. Um, it is a numbers game. Exactly. As I said, I've probably been turned down by 70% of the wholesalers or suppliers that I've tried to open up accounts with. Um, but there's so many wholesalers and suppliers and distributors out there. You'll eventually find one. All I will say is one product type to definitely avoid is anything in the hair care industry. Um, Unless you're in the hair care industry, i.e., you're a hairdresser, you work in a salon, you're doing an apprenticeship in hairdressing, etc., or barbering, you won't be able to get a wholesale account with anything to do with hair, unless you can prove that you're in that industry. And that's really frustrating because there's so many opportunities on Amazon from a hair care perspective. So maybe I need to get the wife to start a hairdressing business. But yeah, steer clear of that. Right, I need to go because I need to go get ready for this wedding. Thank you for everyone who joined the live, Jimmy particularly, and a couple of the others who I can see. You've been here a long time, so I most appreciate it. I will try and do a live, should we say, I know, once a week. Maybe try and do it on a Saturday or Sunday evening for an hour or so. But yeah, I'll continue to do TikToks. If you've got any questions or comments, just comment on the TikTok, whatever your question is. I generally try and respond via no problems, Paddy. I generally try and respond to most comments via a video. So if you've got any questions, just comment on one of my videos and I'll respond back with a video. Latty, sorry. I'm literally I've been on live an hour, but I need to shoot, buddy. So yeah, if you've got any questions, just comment on any of my videos and I'll respond back. But I'll try and do a live, should we say, I don't know, once a week, maybe at a weekend, Saturday or Sunday evening. Or if I can get rid of the kids, I'll try and do it during the day. But I'll obviously let people know via a story or a TikTok on that. But I've now got to figure out how you end the live. I think it's that button up there. But yeah, thanks to everyone who joined in. And I will catch you whenever I'm on live next. But no, thank you very much for joining. Cheers, guys.